What's up, y'all? It's popping, what's cracking? It's D. About to react to this Jamari vid. Also, side note, thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate and love y'all so much, and I had such a great birthday, so I'm very grateful, very happy about that. And y'all support means everything to me, so thank you for being so kind and wishing me, positivity and longevity and all of that. I love y'all. But yeah, we're about to react to this vid about Charlie, aka Moist Critical. I'm very concerned about the situation. If he's also a PDF file, I'm gonna throw my laptop and I'm done with everybody on the internet. I'm done because I've said so many times that I like him. I praised him so many times, and if he makes me regret that, let's see what's happening.
So last year we had some major drama between Moist Critical, aka Charlie, and streamer Sneako, as Sneako was in his Red Pill era and posting relentlessly about Charlie, as well as a couple of other YouTubers and streamers he had made this infamous collage of.
Best commentary award is a dude who doesn't believe in anything, who games for 13 hours straight, and so guys, I farted in a diarrhea and this happened. I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl.
He posted about Charlie to the point where he eventually had to reply with this tweet.
This
"You pathetic, sensitive, soy little worm. I made fun of you for watching your girlfriend get by numerous other men and also insulted you for defending. That's not cancellation. That's just spitting on you for being a pitiful sad." Out of this, we would then get the clip of Sneaky dancing around, brandishing a pistol in his hands.
I remember. What happened?
Saying that he could get these clips.
You want to watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips.
And he
this,
said,
of course,
those
would give us the
clips.
most glorious moment in the beef,
those
the Max comments.
But he's a f***ing imbecile. You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips. The same way that this is also a mag.
And then we would later get this debate. Overall, in the eyes of most, Charlie would decimate Sneako here and make him look very immature. And I would say the majority of viewers thought at this point that he had won the war. Well, Sneako has again been trashing Charlie like no other, especially over the recent situation with Mr. Beast and his creeper Chris. Sneako's stance was that Charlie is a coward for not immediately speaking up about this situation, saying that he is a hypocrite for talking about Dr. Disrespect, but not discussing Chris.
Yo, look out. Moist Critical is not going to go talk about the Chris situation because he wants to have the Mr. Beast collab.
Well, Charlie would respond to this on Twitter and even spend several minutes in his video about the Chris situation, addressing Sneako's claim that he was ducking this topic.
I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. So yes, you're right. I do talk about like big trending bad shit like Dr. Disrespect or like Cody Ko most recently. I don't know why people thought I wouldn't talk about this. So I've never been someone to and shy away from a bad situation like this just because I know or am familiar with the person that it's about. He has no problem abandoning his morals and defending blatant brushing it under the rug as long as it means it keeps the Mr. Beast collab alive. For you to make insinuations like that and even claims like that is f***ing unhinged, considering you make actual defense arguments constantly.
Well, once again, after this back and forth, the two would have another debate, and this time people were a lot more conflicted about who actually won, as both of them made some very strange comments throughout this conversation. Now, just to be completely transparent with you guys, the full debate here was around 90 minutes long, and no, I did not watch the entire thing. I just feel like at this point my brain is already rotted enough, and I didn't want to put it through that type of stress. But if these two comments that these guys made are any indication of how this debate went overall, yeah, I just don't think my brain could have taken it. So first, let's talk about what Sneako had to say. As you guys know, he's been riding the anti-age of consent wave for quite some time now.
It's just because we have a different idea of what it means to be a child, which can be tracked historically. The general principle in Islam is, you can do what you kind of want, so long as, I'm not going to say you can do what you want so long as you're harming. You can marry whomever you want to marry, so long as it doesn't cause them harm, physical and psychological. And once again, it's very relative.
And so Charlie kind of questioned him about his beliefs here, asking him if a 21-year-old should be able to marry a 15-year-old. And you'll never believe what he has to say.
I'm talking about your personal beliefs. Do you think someone in their 20s should be able to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
So should someone who's about to graduate college be able to marry someone who's just entering high school? Like last year, they were running around on that middle school playground.
I personally wouldn't do it. I don't know many people who would do it. The maturity
Okay.
for people and the teenagers in the West is getting much worse, but there
We're
are.
talking globally. Let's just talk globally. Like, do you think it is okay for, and I'm not talking about just you specifically anymore, anyone. Do you think it's okay for anyone in their 20s, an adult, to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
A 21-year-old, if there was a marriage where the father consented and the daughter consented, and it was both good on both families and they wanted to do it, why am I going to get involved? Why should we get the government involved?
Well, at that point, that's almost like arguing, well, why should we have any laws at all? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of the government overreaching into people's personal lives and their personal decisions. But as a society, we have to have some sort of structure of what's right and wrong. And I would think that most people with a rational brain can understand why a 15-year-old is not mentally equipped to handle the decision of getting married to someone in their 20s.
Why would I tell them if everybody's consenting, if everybody's okay with it?
That's not what the question is. It's how do you feel about it morally? Do you think that's okay? And morally, would you be okay with your daughter marrying a 21-year-old? If the answer is no, then you should be fully against it. What do you mean? Well, who am I to say what?
With it, if nobody's being harmed, if it's going to be okay. If
The 15-year-old is harmed, you idiot. It's a child.
Hurting each other, why not?
Because,
It's a
like
child.
I said, the 15-year-old just does not have the mental capacity to truly understand what they're doing, and so really they cannot consent to the marriage. And I believe that is kind of Charlie's point that he tries to make against Nico here.
You know how many teenagers have gone through shit and not realized until they became an adult that, wow, that was fucked up what I went through. Or, oh my God, that was terrible that this happened. At the time, I didn't think it was terrible. But now that I'm an adult, I see that that was a problem. I see, actually, I was being groomed or I was being abused. But I was so dumb, I didn't fully understand that because your brain is literally not even fully developed. So for you to be for that, you're sick in the head.
I think is the right line of thinking. The only problem is Sneeko uses the classic debate tactic of using Charlie's own logic against him when Charlie would try to make an even possibly more mind-boggling point about a child's ability to choose to transition. But we'll get back to that in a second. I did first want to talk about some of the other comments that Sneeko has made regarding the age of consent.
Like, why does that define the age of consent? I had a debate about this. And I said the age of consent is maturity, is the age of puberty, once the body is mature. Because, bro, I know some people, I went through puberty when I was like 17.
Saying that the age
You're
of
an
consent should be
idiot.
when somebody goes through puberty is just insane.
Girls go
Like, I
through
don't know
puberty
if
at
these type of
13,
comments
12
come
sometimes.
from a creepy place, or it's just an effect of constantly having to play the devil's advocate over and over again, while also trying to have the most shocking opinion possible.
That's why the age of consent being strictly exactly on this second 18, this defines maturity. And everyone has to pretend like, yes, that defines maturity. This is the correct
I think it
age.
should be
not
higher,
1
honestly.
second
I think it
more,
should be
not
21.
1 second less. And if anything contradicts it, you're disgusting.
I mean, to me, it's just such a weird hill to choose to die on over and
Right.
over again. I mean, by his logic, if a girl goes through puberty at the age of 12, which I
What did I just
believe
say?
many of them do,
What
well,
did,
she's
what did I just say? There have been a case where an 11-year-old got pregnant, 10-year-old. Like, you can have your period very early. It happens. It's not as common, but it definitely happens. My cousin started her period when she was like 12. So it's something that occurs. So for you to base that on when a woman is ready to be, with an adult is just so sick to say.
then prepared to marry, some 25-year-old man. She's mentally equipped to do so. I mean, by his very same logic, he should have absolutely no problem with what Chris from Mr. Beast just did. As a matter of fact, in his book, Chris could have went out and married that kid that he was talking to through Discord, and he should really have no problem with it, right? As long as the kid started going through puberty.
And the most critical is like, Sneeko, you say that the age of consent is, what do you think it is? I don't know. What do you think it is? Tell me. You think it's 18? It's only 18 in something like 10 states. Most of the rest of it's 17, 16. Around the world, it's 16. A lot of places, 14, 15. So what do you think it is? Is everybody in the world...
Sick.
Japan,
Yeah.
they just changed it from 13 to 16. Were they before then?
Yeah.
What's the consistency?
To me, the blanket age of consent all over the world should
They're known
probably be
for doing pedo shit. No shade to my Japanese people. I love Japan. But listen, their porn weird, bro. A lot of that anime weird, bro. They be on some weird shit with like little teeny girls who are barely of age. Like, I don't know if you should even reference that. Yeah, they be on some pedo shit there. But I mean, they be on some pedo shit here in the States. Like every country has pedos.
18. Like, at least in this country, that's when you start getting more personal freedoms. That's the age where if you up, the government no longer sees you as a child and they're going to punish you as an adult. And at that point, you're really just free to make your own decisions and live with the repercussions of your actions. I don't know, to me, it just does not have to get a lot deeper than that. And here is where Charlie actually falls right into Sneako's trap.
Do you believe that somebody can go through hormone therapy? Can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting. As you agree with.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Glee on
And I've even
face
said that I don't agree with
as
that.
he realizes that he fell for his trap card.
Hormone therapy, can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting. As you agree with.
And obviously, guys, what's the point that's about to be made? Sneako's pretty much going to say, well, Charlie, so a kid cannot consent to marrying an adult, but they can't consent to making a life-altering decision.
Okay, so as long as everyone...
Parents are okay with it, and you are okay with it, I think that's totally a family decision to make, yeah.
Okay.
So they're literally making the exact same stupid arguments about two different, very, I guess, controversial topics.
So, a child can cut their off and take hormone blockers and change their biology forever, but they can't get married?
Well, that's a decision that now extends beyond the family, because now you're bringing in a different party. So if you have someone that's your age coming in saying, I want to marry that child, I don't think that can happen under any circumstance.
Yeah, but neither thing should happen under any circumstance. I mean, listen, guys, I'm all for transitioning once you are an adult. Using your own money, okay? I don't think taxpayers should pay for that type of surgery. But if you want to go and do whatever you want to your own body, well,
when you're an adult.
I'm really all for it. Because at the end of the day, I am for adults having their own personal freedoms. But should a child be able to make that type of life-altering decision? Absolutely not. Should their parents be able to make that type of life-altering decision for their kid? To me, no. Like, if I take a baby to a tattoo parlor and say, hey, I consent, put a tattoo right across their forehead that says idiot, there's a reason that nobody is going to allow you to do that.
Okay, if I'm 16 and I personally want to marry this girl, she's beautiful, she's 21 years old, her family wants to do it, my family wants to do it, you're saying I can't do that. We're both consenting, I'm ready to go, I'm physically mature, but I'm not allowed to marry because Moy says that woman's a... But if then, the next day I leave it, I'm depressed, I want to cut my piss off, I can go right into the clinic, snip it off, and start taking HRT like Chris Tyson. That's a society that makes sense to you?
It is. I believe everyone has I believe everyone has the right to do with their body what they want to do.
Okay.
It's just so bad. I gotta say, this is the biggest L I've probably ever seen Charlie take, and he kind of just walked right into it. I mean, like I said, once someone starts using your own logic against you, the debate is...
I feel like Charlie does do that, though. I feel like he is in a space where he's so popular, where he's so liked. I think he has that pressure of not being controversial and not upsetting, any communities. So I feel like that's what he falls into, because I said this in a recent video that he panders a bit. What was it? The video with Logan Paul, where people were upset because they said that, he should have been meaner to Logan. I even said in that video, like, he's pandering a bit to his audience, because I would have been like, fuck y'all. This is what I already said what I said in that video. But yeah, so I feel like there's a pattern of me witnessing that he panders.
Pretty much.
Because it's like, do you really feel that way?
Over. I mean, at the end of the day, guys,
or you just don't want to piss nobody off.
Is that neither of those things are okay. The other thing I did want to say is I do believe that it's actually a lot easier for someone to transition if they want to do that, if they wait until they're an adult. I believe if you start taking the hormone blockers too young and your reproductive organs don't have the right time to develop, there will usually be a lot of complications with the surgery in the future. So in theory, it's actually in everyone's best interest, including people who know they want to transition at a very young age, to wait until they are at least 18. Either way, after this, Charlie has kind of been getting cooked online. Sneako has pretty much been begging him to release this debate on his channel. So I am curious to see what he will do from here, because, like, as someone who puts his opinion out there online for a living, this was kind of a take that a lot of people seem to disagree with. So I had actually recorded that video yesterday, and as I was editing it right now, we actually did get some updates on the situation that include Charlie apparently walking his comments back, and him also potentially leaving the internet altogether.
And now I give a perspective on something that immediately gets misconstrued. And I do recognize a lot of it's my fault. I assumed that Sneako was talking in hyperbole about a 9-year-old getting their cut off, because I didn't have the assumption that anyone thought that is how transitioning works. Under no circumstances, any legality behind a kid saying, I want to change genders, and then immediately going in and getting their cut off. That doesn't happen. I thought he was just talking in hyperbole.
I mean, I think he was kind of just trying to discuss the idea of a child transitioning in general and if that's okay.
I thought he was talking about the overall point of a child transitioning, which is years-long process. And you can't even get that surgery legally until you are 18.
Yeah, but you can definitely start transitioning and taking these various hormones before you turn 18 years old, especially in some states.
And I guess I should have assumed that he was being literal, and that's on me. But yeah, there's no winning on anything. Sneeko gets away with saying 12 to 15-year-olds can marry adults. I don't think his chat looks anything like the YouTube chat here. He literally, multiple times, reaffirms that he believes 12 to 15-year-olds can legally, morally, and should marry adults.
And he backpedaling. Why wouldn't he be speaking in literal terms? You were, so that's what y'all were doing. Why would whatever? So I feel like he's trying to backpedal because he sees the backlash, and now he's trying to deflect and put the attention back on Sneeko. Like, y'all, this is what he said though. Like his argument was way worse than mine. Like this is way worse. So let's talk about this. But that's what it's giving.
And there is no problems for him. But I said that I think it's okay for a child to transition, to learn about it. It's a process. You don't just go in and immediately get your...
Why you didn't say that?
I mean, I wouldn't say that he's even necessarily walking anything back there.
I
also
he is.
think that the argument he makes about like, oh, everyone's acting like what Sneeko said is okay is just kind of minute. Like, it's not really relevant. Because I have seen Sneeko obviously catching a lot of backlash over this age of consent thing for quite some time. And it's pretty obvious at this point that he's kind of cultivated the type of audience that's going to ride with whatever he thinks. So I'm not surprised that they're not like giving him backlash over those comments. That's what he has been preaching for quite a long time. Either way, this news gets a little bit spicier after it was announced earlier today that Charlie is apparently going to be stepping away from his podcast. Show update. Goodbye, Charlie. Hey everyone, effective immediately, Charlie has made the decision to leave both the official podcast and Red Thread. He wants to go on an indefinite hiatus to scale back his time spent on the internet. We obviously wish him the best, for everyone to respect his decision, and for all to know that the show will always be open for him to drop by and talk shop should he wish to return. So yeah, it seems like Charlie might not be in the best place right now, and I do completely understand if he wants to spend less time on the internet. This job in general can be very taxing from a mental standpoint, and I can recognize how hard it can be to step away from something that is so lucrative for you, that has just become part of your life. But it can also be very toxic when you start talking about more controversial topics. And obviously you read in the comments every day, there's people that disagree with you, there's people that hate you for your opinions. And maybe if he was already feeling kind of burnt out, this might have just been like the straw that broke the camel's back. And despite him dropping what I think is like pretty horrendous take, obviously I wish the best for him, and hopefully he's gonna be doing all right. But y'all let me know what you guys think.
Charlie, fuck these niggas. What the hell? I mean, I don't agree with him either, but so what? That's his opinion. That's the problem with the internet. They want to cancel you and they want to spew all of this hate when you say something that they don't agree with. It's so ridiculous. But I also put blame on these influencers. They need to know when to take a step back from their comment section. I say this all the time. If you see that people are saying negative things about you, why are you continuing to read it and look into every little negative thing that's being said? And being directed at you? Of course that's going to negatively affect your mental state. Why are you engaging in that? It doesn't make any sense. This is why I'm able to talk so reckless and I say what the fuck I want and people know me to be so real and be so direct, is because I don't stalk my comment section. I'm not reading every little thing that y'all are saying about me. Why would I do that? I want to protect my peace. I'm not going to do that. And YouTube has this beautiful feature where you can filter out your comments to only include certain phrases. So whenever I'm looking for videos to react to, guess what? I'm filtering out my comments. Only the ones that says react to in it or reaction, those are the ones that'll pop up. That's what I want to see. If somebody don't fuck with me, they're like, hey, D is ugly or she got a big ass head or whatever the fuck, I don't agree with this, she's so stupid. I'm not saying that. Why would I subject myself to that? I'm not going to give everybody access to me. I've been doing YouTube for a long time. In the beginning, I would give everybody access to me and I would read my comments a lot more often. But I noticed that it did not make me feel good. It made me feel sad. That just is the nature of human beings. You hearing all these negative things being said about you, you're gonna feel bad about yourself. Nobody is exempt from that. So you have to make the conscious decision to take a step back. And of course, you can read your comments every now and then. Like, I read my comments because it's my birthday, so I'm seeing, y'all tell me happy birthday. And, I'll look at my Instagram comments every now and then. But I'm not, like, attached to the hip to my comments and always seeing, okay, what is this person saying about me? What they think about me saying this? And, oh, my God, how they feel about this? Why would I do that to myself? It's just going to put you in a bad headspace. So these influencers, they need to stop. Why would he let people's negative comments affect how he makes money? Like him being on a podcast, you making money from that, or him putting up videos, that's your money, that's your bread and butter, this is your job. Why would you let some negative comments like interfere with that? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never will. But some people are just different, I guess. They need to know what's being said about them. But it's like, if it's making you feel bad, then why are you continuing to engage? Makes no sense. But I wish him the best. This isn't enough for me to dislike him. He ain't no pedo, thank God. That's what I really cared about. So that's not the case. So he's still good in my book. I mean, so what? However he feels, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. Nobody else should either. So dumb. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.